in the road since your stroke. I mean, it's been, what, 13, 14 years?
Yeah, 2004 it happened.
What surprised you the most about that road to right now? Back to performing, back to touring again?
The path is long.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, you got to keep at it, And I went, when I was ill, the first thing I did, obviously I had to learn to move, and the muscles retain memory, and you just got to keep reminding. And I went to see my voice doctor, and he checked me out, and he said my vocal cords are fine, and just got to keep at it. So all you do is keep going.
What's it like now when you perform? I mean, does it mean that much more that, I mean, there must have been a point where you thought maybe you might not be able to get up there again.
Of course, yeah. You always go through that.
Yeah.
The mind plays tricks.
Yeah.
What's it Dylan said? Isn't it just like the night to... Oh, fuck, I forgot. Isn't it just like the night? I forget. If I remember, I'll let you know.
Yeah, well, when you're up there today, when I saw the show last night, you talk a lot about the joys of life, and it feels like that there's this curious wonder that's within you that hasn't left you since childhood.
Well, I've always tried to hold on to it, because it seems like as you get older, it seems like the only place where there's some purity and innocence and seeing world anew. It's like when you write, it's like when you're a creative person. It's important to see things, or try to see things from a different angle or innocence. Oh, wow, I've never seen that before.
Has that always been a part of you, or is that something that's come later?
It's been important.
Yeah.
Always been important. And because I think it helps, you create, I think, when you're a writer. If you go through, we all do it, we all go through doom and gloom and ups and the down. But if you get lost in that low point, sometimes you can't get back. I know a lot of people that are very inspiring people that were, but have gone into those low points and can't get out. It's like an abyss,
Well, and that's one of the things that we all love about rock and roll, is that it's like a song's immortal, like when you play those songs, time doesn't exist.
No, that's very true, and it's a bit like that on stage. When you get into the show, you kind of feel like you're in your own time zone.
Yeah, agreed.
Or with the audience, you think time is irrelevant.
So you just turned 70 in February.
Yep.
Do you see a rebirth in that age at all? About your thought process and your perspective on things?
I think so, yeah. And a friend of mine who was a philosopher and the Kinks' first manager, Granville, he's a good deal older than me. He must be about 76, 77. And he said, touch wood, he said, it's easier when you get 70. Maybe he meant for reflecting, concentration, and things like that. And I do find I can concentrate a lot better than I did when I'm younger and trying to do everything all at once.
Well, that's the thing is, if you look at it like you have 10 buckets.
Because you can only physically do mentally and emotionally. Really
when you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of select.
Well, when I interviewed Eric Burden, he had said that the best thing about turning...
Bless him.
He had said the best thing about turning 70 is that you realize that you don't care about the bullshit as much as you used to.
Well, it's sort of irrelevant, because that's the stuff that holds you up.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be someone that wants to pull you down.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of things.
Yeah. Well, what was funny was when I was re-listening to the catalog before the show, every year or so I come across it again, and then I start picking up new things. But then when I was listening to the songs that you were playing from the Kinks, I mean, that's some heavy material for teenagers to be writing when you look back on the themes of it.
Oh, yeah.
Where was that coming from? I mean, you were writing about songs that are lyrically still relevant even today.
Yeah, I think even that song I did last night, I Am Free, that I wrote that 50 odd years ago.
Yeah.
And if you listen to it, it's very pertinent to the world today. How so many rules and regulation and structures try and keep us contained, and And yet it's a song, when we were young, in the early 60s.
What
It was all about freedom.
What do you see these days when you look out there? I mean, I'm in the U.S. and you're from Britain, and both these countries are going through huge
change,
with Brexit and with what's going on with Trump. And what do you see out there? I mean, you tour a lot and you meet a lot of people and you see a lot of different places.
I think somehow, in my view, is that we need to trust the earth and the universe a bit more, because we don't really know, do we? We get angry.
We know nothing about anything.
Yeah, we don't really know anything.
Yeah.
I think we have to allow it. I know it sounds a bit hippie-ish, but I think we have to allow things to happen more.
Yeah.
And like in the song "The Path Is Long," that Russ wrote, the line, "You and I, we need to trust." I think until we can really trust each other as human beings, we're never going to make a breakthrough.
Well, and being vulnerable to the cosmos, I feel that the more that you let yourself go, the more that comes in.
I think so. I think that they're finding that through in science.
Yeah, yeah.
Just mechanism of how things work is that letting go. You see more.
Yeah.
As well.
And I think that's one of the cool things.
And
about
and prejudices and attitudes sometimes just blind us, block us from what's going on.
Well, and then with that said, I mean, the trend now is just divide people, where I think that we as human beings have more in common than what we're told.
Yeah, of course it is. They're just, obstacles put in front of us to stop us reaching out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, definitely. It's like provoke the chaos, you know what I mean? The more that you poke into the unknown, the more that interacts with you.
But I'm a big science fiction fan.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much wisdom that you can inject in alternative ways of thinking.
Yeah.
Then the science fiction cultivates that area of imagination where you can actually... We don't know what we really are. We assume what what we think we are, but and maybe much more.
When you were growing up in the 50s and 60s, I mean that was the pinnacle of science fiction, especially for books.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird when you see how much of it's actually happened? Like there's phones in your watches now and telecommunications.
Yeah, like Philip K. Dick, he was a prophet, really, and he kind of prophesied things that were going to happen, about going to Mars and about colonising other planets. And then that's what we're trying to do now. Yeah. And he talked about that.
Are you optimistic about the future?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because I think we can, I think we're, as individuals and collectively, we're capable of changing our situation.
Yeah.
We don't know what we do when we really think about what we want or people, and we start thinking about, I don't like him. Mm-hmm. I think we're just dragging the thing down, the whole thing down. And I think it's hard, but I think
it can be overwhelming.
Have to be optimistic.
Yeah,
because we tried pessimism.
Yeah,
it doesn't really work. And we got to be realistic.
Yeah, of course. And it can be overwhelming when you try to think, do I actually make a difference? But then it's like, well, whatever my space is within my grasp, if I can make a difference in that space, then hopefully there's other people in other spaces doing this.
Yeah, of course. It's like music. If you're with a set of guys wanting to go in a certain direction, and you play to encourage and inspire each other. So if you're playing just to make people feel bad, where's that going to go? What's the point?
Yeah.
So it's very much like music as well. It's like we're constantly in a state of composition.
Yeah, flux.
Flux, and we're composing our lives like musicians.
How do you? When I watch you perform, there's so much optimism in the set. I mean, you're interacting with the audience very much, and you're trying.
That's where you get the energy from.
Keep moving. Come on, people, get up, start dancing. Move around a little bit. We're all alive.
Yeah, but that's important because, I need that energy from people. In the same way I'm trying to give out, we all need it back. It's that give and take thing.
Yeah. Now that era when you came about, and socially and then musically, that's 50 years ago. Does that blow you away?
Yeah.
I got one more. Well, I guess my final question is, what has life as a performer taught you about what it means to be a human being?
Everything, I think. It's like I was an inquisitive child and wanted to try out new things, and fortunately, music gave me an opportunity to meet people I would never have met, because that's how we learn, by different cultures and different people and different ideas about the universe and about life and nature. It's a lot of work being a human being. I don't think we've even begun really to explore each other. And you look at nature. I always go back to nature when I feel a bit low. I think it's still there.
Yeah.
Grass still grows and the tree is strong and the wind blows. It's like maybe it's a lot simpler than we like to make it.
Agreed.
We like it so complicated. It's got stimulate the mind, but sometimes the mind plays tricks. Isn't it just like the night for the mind to play tricks while you're trying to be so quiet? I still got it wrong.